All right, let's see what I can get. Let's do some good rolls. All right, let's go, baby. Roll it. More rolls. Let's go. Give me something good. I want to have something good. Give me good. 5 threats. Let's go. Oh, that's it, baby. Triple run. That's it, man. Hello everyone, Nastypeon here, welcome back. Today is another video guide about Taichi Panda 3. I will review how the mount feature and threat works, why you should focus on special threats. I will review the most important ones, and I will finish with some mounts analysis and see which one works, which one doesn't work, so you have a better understanding. So before we get started, let's answer a couple of questions. So first of all, what are the mounts, features, threat, and what do they do? They are actual attributes, either be basic attributes or special attributes that add up value to your main character. They are both available in regular or balance. So what is the best way to get more threats? It's by doing breeding and hatching. You can do that every day, get almost 100 mounts, and then you can re-roll one time for free every day. So how special threat works, that's really important, and that's what we are going to focus on today. There's too many threats for me to view them all. The video would last like 30 minutes plus. So instead, I will explain to you how you should see the threats and how you should pick your threat. So there's a couple of classification of threats. They all fits mostly into 3 or 4 categories. So I will explain to you how those categories works, and then we will relate those categories to specific threats, and it will enable you to choose which threat considering that. So the first category is the procs. 3% on hits, 5% on hit, 10% on hits after a certain HP threshold, after a certain MP threshold. The second classification is the timer. After 20 seconds, after 30 seconds, the ability will proc every attack. So every time you attack, there's something happening, X amount of damage. So there's another one which is very similar, but it's a conditional. When attacking this target, this happen. It's not every attack, it's when attacking this target. We'll see how it works. And there's some class specific. So why am I focusing on special threat? Because special threats are giving you a real advantage in balanced PvP as well as regular PvP. If you're not doing PvP, it's more or less useful. You can go with simple speed buff or attack damage, and it will be all good. So for example, attack, defense, strength, agility, wisdom, stamina, and spirit. That's all basic stuff. You don't really need that. If you have it, it's all right. What we want to focus on is special threat. So let's figure it out. Which one are procs? Light a fire. Each of your attack has a 3% chance of adding a flame arrow. So that's a proc. It's a 3% chance. So one attack every 33 attacks will give you this ability. I do not consider this good. So for me, light a fire is not good. I'm not gonna read and explain everything. You guys can read them or go check out my website. They're all written there. You can transform them to your language or have your game language set up to your native language so you can understand it. Okay, here's another example. This is a timer. Horns. Every 30 seconds, you get a 5 damage shield. So, for example, the start fight, the timer starts there. 1, 2, 3, up to 30 seconds. At that point, you get a 5-second shield, which is going to reflect damage. The shield does not come up at the beginning of the 30 seconds, just at the end. So you have to survive during those 30 seconds, which is highly unlikely to happen because you're always going to face stronger people than you, and they will know, and they will be taking offensive threats, and be damaging you faster than you damage them. So you have to be wiser. You have to use other ability that will deny them from dealing you more damage, rather than waiting 30 seconds and expecting to be alive to do mirror reflect damage. So here's another one. This is a conditional. So remember, it's proc, timer, every attack, and conditional. So this one is conditional. When HP falls below 10%, do this and this and that. The opportunity for a player to go below 10% HP and still being active or being capable of dealing damage is very close to zero. You have almost zero opportunity below 10% HP to do damage or being effective. Most of the time, all your mounts are dead or in cooldown, you're stuck in a spot and you're getting CC'd to the maximum. So Rise is a bad attribute. Okay, here's another one. It's a classification of every attack. So Berserk, each attack will multiply on attack by target distance. So every time you attack, you do 2 times the damage to your target, depending on the distance you are. This is the best attribute in game, or one of the best. It's probably in the top 3 or in the top 5. You can argue with me in the comments. It will be a pleasure for me to explain deeper in the comments why Berserk is one of the best. I will not review the attribute here. Chopper, each attack, again, conditional, each attack, something happens. When you stack, you get X attribute. Oh, this is a different one. It's a class specific. Every attack has a 5% chance, so it's a proc with a class relation with agility. That's alright, 5%, I mean, it's 1 attack out of 20, will do a bunch of damage. It's just as good as a crit or anything else. It works fine as a second attribute. Sorcerer, 5% chance, again, go with max MP and wisdom. It's good as second attribute, it's not your main attribute. A main attribute would be Berserk. That's a real attribute. This one just works as a second or third attribute. Hair control, every attack has 10% chance. So proc, that's a 10% chance to do 20% damage. That's a lot of damage to a mount, considering that mounts now have a lot of damage. So that's main attribute. 3% chance, 1 out of 33. You don't want to use that. It's probably only good as a second or third attribute. Heavy blade, 30% chance to trigger heavy effect. That's good. It's 1 out of 3 times. It works well for melee character. It gives a lot of room to work in and get control for Berserker and Assassin. It's good as second or third attributes. Honesty, it's good. 20% attack will be converted to damage. Each crit, once in 20 seconds. Lots of HP regen in a good scenario. I wouldn't use it, but Rule of Might, another, that's class specific when attacking taunted targets. So that's conditional to taunting. It's perfect for Berserker. You want to have that on all of your mounts as much as you can. You use the taunt and you build and you make your build solely on that. If you get Rule of Might with thorns, like a large thorns, you're in business, sir. You just ran out of fight, you come back when you have taunt up, you're gonna blow the guy up. You're gonna blow him up. Clean air, every attack, 10% chance. That's a super good attribute. It works well with critical moment. I run clean air on all of my mounts. Paralyzing bite, 5% chance. Low proc chance, but high reward. It lasts for 10 seconds, so you can stun lock your enemy. Eagle Eye, that's perfect for scouts. Strong move, gives you 5 on the next one. Transformation, 3% chance, but that's a high reward. Slow Blade, I use that on my wolf. It's perfect to control how you interact with other, keep controlling. So here's a couple more. You have Blood and Sweat, Max Firepower. Those are like really conditional when full HP, 1 HP below 50%. Very little opportunity with that. use blood and sweat on one of my flying mounts, but it's nearly impossible to reach 50% HP on a flying mount because the mount will die before you reach 50%. So that just doesn't make sense. So I will try to give you a couple more advice on how you should set up your I will give you a couple more advice on how you should set up your um, attributes depending on the mount. So we'll start with blood and sweat. Blood and sweat, when HP reach 50%, you cannot put that on a flying mount because you're highly likely to be in a tough spot when you reach 50%. So you want to have a ground mount and be close to your target and be able to do something like really fast to change the pace of the game, like land a good crit or something like that. So you want to use blood and sweat on a melee mount, or maybe your Rex. Like if you put blood and sweat on your Rex and you're below 50%, you switch to Rex and you do your silence, that's gonna destroy your opponent like so badly. I use Berserk on my Rex, but I could really use blood and sweat. You could use Crush with Slow Blade, but be careful. Master Rider, Master Hunter, that's not good. You don't use that. It's not effective on Balanced Battlefield. Balanced Battlefield accounts for almost 90% of all the PvP you do. Eagle Eye, you put that on flying mounts. That's perfect. When it starts fight, you fly away. You put your high crit damage ability with that. It does a couple more damage. Really easy to use. Paralyzing Bite, you put that on your fast mount, those that stay alive, flying mounts, tanky mounts. Clean Hair, you put that on your strongest mount, on your go-to mount. Rule of Might, Berserker, put that on everything, on ST. You put that on your mount that you use to fight. Hair Control, you put that on a flying mount, you put that on a Pterosaur, Thundersaur. It's really, really good. Sorcerer Pursuer, it's just side abilities. It doesn't go on any mount, you just take them when they come. Berserk, you want to focus that on melee mount, especially fast mount. If you can get Berserk with, let me find it, one I use a lot recently, it's Swift Step. So it's going to help you to stay close to your opponent. And when you see Swift Step trigger, it lasts 8 seconds, so it gives you time to change mount. Switch to your, for example, to your Wolf or your Rex, which has Berserk. So you're fast, you stick on your opponent, you do those high damage ability. And that's about it. Life Shield, it comes only as a second or third. Even if it's an ultimate one, it's not good. You just use that as a side. So that's pretty much it for special threats. So you really want to focus on those classifications, high proc, no timer, every attack, those conditional that works well with your mounts, range damage on flying mounts, high proc clean air, Berserk on ground mounts, those mounts that fight that have more HP, and that's pretty easy. So again, the best threats are Berserk, Clean Air, Eagle Eye, Ruled by Might. Good threats are Hair Control, Chopper, Hunter Spirit, Paralyzing Bite. You have all that on my website. Again, you can go check it out. Translate, have a better translate than in game, and you can discuss in the comments which one you prefer. You can post your exact setup and I will reply and give you every how to use each of your mounts and how you should set up your threats and have the best combo with what you currently have. There's people that do not have all the mounts. I totally get it. So it will be really easy for me to help you set up your mounts and your threats. So post in the comments. I will give you some advice on how to set up your mounts. For the last part of this video, so what we'll do is we'll go through a quick analysis of the top players' mount in this server, and according to their class and character and where they are in game, I will tell you which mounts and which threats are good. We'll focus mainly on the threats, of course. Okay, so here we have our first analysis. It's an assassin class at 400k might, mostly endgame gear, so we'll check out his mounts. First mount is Phantom Wolf. It has Berserk. Each attack will multiply on attack, distance, perimeter, real damage. So the closer you are, Assassin is a melee, so that works perfectly like we said earlier. So that's the best. Is probably want to eventually reroll and get 2 abilities, probably a Mount HP or a Swift Step, something in that sense. Mount number 2, it's a Emperor Dragon, so it has transformation, 3% chance, high reward, but it's alright. The assassin is not really spending too much time on Emperor Dragon, so when he does, having transformation might help him a lot, especially if he procs transformation before spinning its target. By spinning, I mean using tornadoes. Chaos Dragon, that's another good mount. Looks like this one hasn't been rolled, so we're not gonna analyze it. Here we have Berserk again. Melee range, that's perfect, so he has 2 Berserk. I would probably recommend having 2 Clean Air on the hair mounts, or Paralysis. Okay, here we have our second analysis. Duma, level 150, mostly in-game gear, almost 400k might. Check out his mounts. First, he has a Wolf Honesty, critical hit is triggered, 20% of attack damage will be converted to HP. That's not too bad. It has another couple of stats. Here we have Rex. Considering the fact that it's a nice mage, I don't see why doing 5% more damage to mounts would be a good idea. You would be more looking at something that deals through damage. You don't have to sustain throughout the fight and kill their mounts. I would only use Hunter Spirits, especially on a Rex, only as a second mount, second threat, like a free one. Okay, this one is looking dope. It has double Clean Air, and each Clean Air is not limited by the other one, so it has plain straight 20% chance of inflicting Clean Air. That's totally godlike. It's basically within your 5 attacks, you know that your enemy is gonna be running out of MP. He has Hunter Spirit on a second ability. That's totally fine. It's perfect. This is looking like a perfect mount. That's how you want it. Of course, having 2 different abilities is going to enhance it, but at this point, having 3 abilities is like too good. Here we have Clean Air again. I have nothing to say against that. It's a mage running 2 flying mounts with Clean Air. It's perfect to start fights and engaging. Okay, here we have our third analysis. No one has 260k might, mostly endgame gear. So let's check out his mounts. We start with a Wolf. It has Heavy Blade and Slow Blade. I do agree with Slow Blade on Wolf, because since Wolf is a fast mount, it helps you pace the fight. However, Heavy Blade is useless. You just can use a flying mount to get around the battlefield, or just throw range attack, basic attacks. You don't need for Heavy Blade at all. To be honest, this is looking like a waste of an attribute. I would reroll that as fast as I can. Here we have a Phantom Wolf. It looks like it has a lot of ability, However, there's no special threats. I could think of using that in a 1v1 build. So if he spends some times in Decathlon 1v1, that's a good mount. However, it's not what I'm looking for. Here we have a mount that is ready to be rerolled. 3% wisdom, it does nothing. Here we have another one. It has 30% chance, heavy blade. At this point, it makes me think that this guy wants to have heavy blades on his mounts. It's completely useless. You're a range character. You can just shoot spells and attacks. You don't have to put heavy effects on your opponent. Life sheet small, that does absolutely nothing. To finish this video in beauty, we will review my on-mount threat. So let's start with the wolf. My wolf has slow blade and clean air. The goal on that is to control what's going around the battlefield with a limited amount of rolls. So I was lucky to get two at the same time. I was primarily looking at clean air, and I was lucky enough to get slow blade, so I kept that as it is. I really like that way. The wolf is a fast mount. Slow blade slows the enemy, so it really enables me to move around the battlefield and control in that way. On my Emperor Dragon, I have Swift Steps. It's perfect for a flying mount during my everyday play, as well as in fighting. I have Blood and Sweat and a small life shield. I am going to replace that in the future, having 50%, having this conditional ability, which activate after 50%, is not helping me in 90% of the cases. So I want to take this out. Probably going to replace it with a paralysis, clean air, or something that has a good procs. Maybe an eagle eye, because I always use this mounts from far distance. It works especially well with tornado, so I might just go with eagle eye, and I hope I have it teamed up with something else. Rex, I have Berserker. My goal is to get Berserk with Mount HP or Berserk with Swift Step. My last one is Chaos Dragon. I have Clean Air and a small life shield. That's pretty good. Later on, I would like to have Clean Air and Swift Step, Clean Air and max mount HP or something like that. I'm probably going to replace my Chaos Dragon at some point. It's not the perfect mount for PvP, so I'm not looking to invest too much in it. So I will probably keep it as is. Alright guys, so that's it for this mount review. Maybe you found this video a little bit longer, so I'm trying a different kind of things, and I'm always trying to improve my videos, my live stream, the quality of the content, the quality of the audio and the video. So I delayed posting this video for a while. I had to redo it a couple of times, so I hope you guys will excuse me. So post your setup in the comments. I will tell you exactly what you should be focusing on in order for you to win as much PvP as you can. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time.